A cold morning settles over Britain in 1940. Radios crackle across the country as a message spreads through towns and villages. German forces are crossing the Channel. No one speaks at first. People freeze in place, realizing the moment they feared is no longer a warning. It is happening. Operation Sea Lion has begun, not as a plan trapped on paper, not as a distant threat, but as a real invasion moving toward British shores. And the world starts to shift. Weeks earlier, the Battle of Britain had been fierce, but in this alternate world, the balance tips in Germany's favour. British airfields take hit after hit. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more content. Radar stations that once gave early warnings are destroyed one by one. Exhausted pilots fly until their hands shake and their eyes blur. Slowly, painfully, the skies that should have belonged to the Royal Air Force are now dominated by German fighters. The Luftwaffe pushes harder, refusing to change targets, refusing to ease pressure. Air superiority slips from Britain's grasp. It is the first sign that the storm is about to break. At dawn, German invasion barges push through the choppy channel. They are crowded with soldiers, tanks, guns, and supplies. British patrols spot them too late. Coastal defences scramble into position as the horizon fills with dark shapes. Within hours, thousands of German troops land on the beaches of Kent and Sussex. The air explodes with gunfire. Soldiers race through sand dunes. Civilians hide behind doors. The invasion that England hoped to avoid for centuries has finally come to its shores. British forces try to hold the line, but communication collapses faster than anyone is ready for. Roads are jammed with fleeing families. Paratroopers drop behind defences, cutting vital routes and creating chaos. Rumours travel faster than official reports. Some say Dover has already fallen. Some claim German tanks reach the countryside. Some insist London will be surrounded by nightfall. Confusion grips the nation as the sound of artillery grows louder in the distance. Inside a bunker beneath London, Winston Churchill gathers his war cabinet. Sweat drips from helmets as officers deliver grim updates. Dover is under heavy attack. Brighton is lost. Portsmouth is burning. Churchill grips the edge of the table, refusing to let fear show. He speaks of resistance, of courage, of fighting on at every street and every corner. But outside that bunker, the situation is spiralling faster than any speech can fix. Home Guard volunteers rush forward with determination stronger than their weapons. Some carry old rifles that barely work. Others hold farming tools. They block roads with whatever they can find: cars, logs, metal sheets, trying to slow the German advance. Their courage delays the invasion, but the enemy is relentless. Tanks crush barricades. Aircraft circle overhead. German commanders push forward with confidence, believing Britain will fall in days, not months. London braces as waves of refugees pour in from the south. Food lines stretch longer every hour. The sky glows at night from burning cities on the coast. Radio broadcasts warn people to stay calm, yet the tension sits heavy on every face. The city prepares for the worst, reinforcing bridges, building new defences, stationing soldiers at key points. But the truth is simple. The enemy is coming faster than London can prepare. German leaflets soon drift down from planes. They promise safety if Britain accepts peace. They warn that further resistance will bring suffering. Many tear the papers apart in anger, believing surrender is worse than death. But others hold the leaflets tightly, thinking about their children and wondering how much longer they can survive this nightmare. As the German army pushes inland, their progress is steady and brutal. Towns fall one after another. Canterbury, Maidstone and Guildford become scenes of street fighting. British forces retreat toward the capital, unable to match the sheer number of enemy troops. Supply lines break apart. Ammunition grows scarce. The once strong defensive ring around London cracks under the pressure. Inside the war rooms, Churchill refuses to consider evacuation. Advisers urge him to leave London and move the government north, but he stands firm. He believes a leader must face danger with the people, not run from it. The decision becomes symbolic, a sign that even if the enemy reaches the city, the spirit of resistance will not vanish. Soon that moment arrives. German forces reach the outskirts of London. Tanks roll through the southern streets. Snipers fire from rooftops. Explosions echo between rows of houses. The city trembles as foreign soldiers march inside its boundaries for the first time in centuries. Families run for shelter as buildings collapse. Fires spread across the docks. London becomes a battleground, a place of smoke, rubble, and desperate resistance. After days of fierce fighting, central London falls. German officers raise flags over government buildings. Many civilians hide in basements, unsure if they will be arrested or spared. News spreads around the world. Newspapers in America print huge headlines declaring the fall of Britain's greatest city. Shock turns into fear as nations realize the last major opponent of Nazi Germany in Western Europe has collapsed. But even in this dark moment, Britain's story refuses to end. The British government relocates to Birmingham. Members of Parliament move into makeshift offices. Messages are broadcast to assure the nation that the fight continues. The Royal Navy withdraws to safer waters and prepares new strategies. Scotland becomes the stronghold of remaining forces. Resistance groups grow in the occupied south. Ordinary people begin to form secret families of fighters who sabotage railway lines, hide supplies, and pass information from town to town. German occupation settles over southern England. Curfews are announced. German signs appear on public buildings. Newspapers are censored. Anyone suspected of helping resistance is taken for questioning. Yet even in silence, small acts of defiance continue. Someone paints a British flag on a wall at night. Someone hides a wounded soldier in a cellar. Someone sends coded messages through a broken radio. Resistance becomes the heartbeat of a country under chains. Hitler waits in Berlin, hoping for a quick surrender. He dreams of turning Britain into a puppet state. He wants to use British ports and factories for his future plans. But the longer the occupation lasts, the more restless the people become. Germany starts to realize that holding Britain is far harder than taking it. Winter hits, slowing the German advance northward. Heavy snow and strong winds challenge supply routes. Resistance fighters ambush convoys and blow up bridges. German units trapped in small villages find themselves surrounded by hostile locals. What was supposed to be a swift step toward domination becomes a long struggle that drains German strength. Then Germany makes a fatal mistake. Confident in victory, Hitler prepares to invade the Soviet Union on schedule. He sends millions of soldiers east, believing Britain can no longer cause trouble. This decision stretches the German military across two massive fronts. Troops in Britain struggle to get reinforcements and supplies. Morale drops. Pressure grows. Meanwhile, support from allies increases. The United States, shaken by Britain's fall, begins sending enormous amounts of aid. American ships arrive with weapons, food, and equipment. Resistance groups strengthen. British forces reorganize in Scotland. Slowly, small victories begin to appear. A captured town is retaken. A German base is destroyed. A major supply train never reaches its destination. Germany's grip weakens month by month. Occupied cities erupt in revolt. German authority cracks under the weight of constant attacks. Soldiers who once marched confidently now move with fear, knowing danger hides behind every corner. As the war turns against Germany on all fronts, the collapse becomes inevitable. American, British, and other Allied forces push back across Europe. The Soviet Union advances from the east. Germany loses control of the skies. Their power crumbles piece by piece. When Berlin finally falls, the echoes of surrender reach Britain. Occupation ends. flags rise again over towns once filled with fear. Crowds flood the streets across the United Kingdom. People cry, laugh, and shout as long-lost relatives return home. The nightmare of invasion fades, but the scars of those years remain on every building and every family. Britain survived, but it survived at a cost far greater than anyone imagined. Operation Sea Lion succeeded for a brief moment, but the spirit of the British people remained unbroken. Even in defeat, they kept fighting until the day the island was free again. In this alternate world, the invasion changed everything. It reshaped Europe, delayed victory, and showed how close history came to taking a darker path. Yet it also revealed something powerful beneath the fear and destruction. A nation can lose its cities, its capital, and even its land. But as long as its will to fight remains, no army can fully conquer it. And in the end, that unbroken will brings Britain back from the edge.